Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada, and today I am continuing on with my Read What You Own challenge. This is where I am reading the physical books that I've owned prior to January of 2024, so no new books that I've bought can be counted in this, and no ebooks can be counted either. They must be physical books that I'm that I'm either reading and deciding to keep on my shelf, or reading or DNFing and deciding to send to the thrift store or the bookstore. So this is numbers 40 to 49 of the challenge. I am going to 100. So first of all, we have Miss Dreamsville and the Collier County Women's Literary Society. This was a fun Southern fiction with some quirky characters, and I gave it 3 stars, and I will not be keeping it for my collection. Next is My Husband by Maud Ventura. This is a relatively new book, and I gave it 4 stars. This is a psychological fiction. Gets really weird by the end. It's kind of rising tension and yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it, and I'm keeping it for my collection. Next book is Howls from Hell, a horror anthology. This book I actually received as a gift from my youngest son. And this is as it says. These are all pretty much indie authors, or ones that started out as indie. It was a decent anthology. Of course, they ranged from 5 stars and down. I don't think there was any that I gave 1 stars to in this collection, though don't count me on that. You have to look at my Goodreads review where I review each story one by one. But yeah, it ended up with a 3-star, and I do collect short story anthologies, so this will be part of my collection. Next book I read was January 15th by Rachel Swirsky. I was really looking forward to this book. I was hoping it was going to be a 5-star. Ended up only giving it 2. It is science fiction, and it is about a world where everybody receives a basic income supplement. And this book takes place on January 15th, the day when everybody receives their yearly basic income supplement in America. Well, it appears, I'm pretty sure it's named as America, and if not, it appears to be. Yeah, it just didn't go into what I expected such a book would do, and it left me really disappointed. I gave it a 2, and I will not be keeping it for my collection. The next book that I read was Blood Lake Monster, which is part of the Rewind and Die series. It is book number 12. This was a good time horror book, lots of fun, a little bit better than the average creature feature, and I ended up giving it 4 stars, and I will be keeping it for my collection. The next book I read is Sisters in the Wilderness, The Lives of Susanna Moody and Catherine Parr Traill, written by Charlotte Gray. This is obviously a biography of the 2 women who were sisters and were early pioneers in southern Ontario, called Upper Canada at the time. This is the mid to late 1800s that it covers. The women were also authors, and some of Canada's first authors, as well as first female authors. Really good book. Probably as good as reading at least Catherine Parr Traill's work, because her work is very dry, full of she was a botanist, really, being self-trained, and her sister's memoirs are much more entertaining. I've dipped in and out of them, but I don't believe I've ever actually read them. I may someday read her book. I won't read Catherine Parr Traill's. This book is enough of a biography to let you know about these women without actually reading their writings, because there's a lot of first account information in this book. Definitely recommend if you're into pioneering women. I gave that 5 stars, and I am keeping it for my collection. Next, I read an ebook, which doesn't count for this challenge. And then the next book I read was Tiamat's Wrath, which is book number 8 in the Expanse series. Absolutely fabulous. Loved every second of it. I only have book 9 left to read out of the series, and I want to read it, and I don't want to read it at the same time. But this is excellent. Gave it 5 stars. The next book, I just have to get to turn my page in my ratings journal here. Then I read another ebook, which doesn't count for this challenge. Then the next book that I read was The 100th Man by Jack Curley. This is actually the first book in a short series. I think there's about 7 books about Detective Carson Ryder. It's got a nice little kind of cut cover there. It was a fun, interesting, a little bit dated, but not overly so that it impacted my enjoyment of the book. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. Yes, 4 stars. I'm going to keep it, at least for the time being, until I've read this entire series. Then I'll decide if the series is a keeper or not. And then I read another ebook, which didn't go towards this challenge. And finally, I read The Crying Tree by Nassim Raqqa. This is an absolutely fantastic book, which oh, okay, just for a minute my mind went blank. But it's a story of a family, and the father gets a surprise raise in moving to another state to become the deputy sheriff there. So they all move. Within a year, the son, they have 2 children, a girl and a boy. I believe the boy was the youngest. Within a year, he has been shot and killed during a home burglary. And therefore goes the story of how everyone grieves and copes with this, and everyone shares a secret. And who is the one person that knows the truth and of this secret is unknown, and what the secret is unknown, and throughout the book we get to that place. Fantastic book. I gave it 5 stars, and I'm going to keep it for my collection. And there you have it, folks. Those are the last 10 books that I read for the Read What You Own challenge. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you. Hope you found a book or 2 that you hadn't heard of before. In the meantime, until next time, bye!